Hi everyone. Alright, welcome to this space, or welcome back if you're returning. Happy spring, or whenever you find this, happy now. Oh, it's nice to be happy in the present moment, isn't it? Okay, so before we jump into your cards, I'd like to mention a few things that came. So before your reading, I ran an errand. I needed some space because I put a bunch of energy into one thing, like one kind of thing, and I was like, all right, I need a break, and it's still attached to something else I had to do. And I saw there's a lot of churches where I live, and they always have, I like the little sayings on the outside. They're always so funny to me and bring some kind of joy, especially because, you know, some of them are really clever. And then one today was like, God allows U-turns. And last night, I was sitting on the other end of the porch, and there was this little snail, like actually the snail was like literally out of its shell, showing most of itself, and it just went on a little mosey, and I watched it for like 2 minutes, and it ended up doing this little like U-turn. In the north we call it flipping a bitch. I don't know what they call it in the south, but either way, U-turn maybe. So maybe there's something that turns around, and I feel like whatever turns around is really positive. The strength that you're coming into this reading with is the sun, which I find, again, is an emphasis of positivity. You know, the Saturn's was invisible, meaning under the light of the sun from the beginning of the year. And that is really hard. We need Saturn to feel secure. He helps our security, you know? So I also feel that during this time frame, you want to trust that what you're doing is, you know, we can only, how do I see this? Well, whatever it is that you're doing, you want to ensure that that's best for you. Well, I guess in Aries season, when I'm recording this, it does have to do with the self to a certain extent. Because I guess if you are heart focused, right, and optimistic about it, and saying to yourself like, okay, I want to be the happiest version of myself. You know, I want to be the brightest version of myself. I want to be the most optimistic. This doesn't mean you're not logical and rational when necessary, but the inside, right, is this, and then I feel like, so letting go of worries with this sun card also, you know, because it does have to do with confidence. So I guess at least at this time frame, this is supposed to be for this month, but sometimes these last longer, depends where you are. The point would be, the message is to be, to let go of your worries about the future, okay? And that your main job, or your main focus, your main thing that you're meant to create at this time, or create with, is happiness. Optimism, Jupiter energy, right? Sun energy. Hawk agrees. Hawk agrees. Okay, let's move along. This has actually happened, I feel like, for all of the signs, where people are having something new with home. I guess this is a new feeling. Could be a re-energizing too, right? Finally, we're out of the water of Pisces and into the strength of Aries, right? The fire of Aries. It alleviates some of that sogginess, you know? You actually have the page in your home section. So pages to me are very creative energy. It's new energy again. Oh, maybe this could be your children or your grandchildren too. I see children and grandchildren. maybe there's family that comes to visit, or someone comes to visit you, or you could think about in the future, like going to see somebody else. Feel like someone you love lives in a different place, like lives in a different environment than you. Uh, I could also see that home for some could be a little bit dry. Um, what's that about? Oh, if you do have children, they need a little bit of. Well, I guess remember this in relation to your family, whoever lives in the house with you, things like that. You are very influential. But people are paying attention, I guess is the point. They're following example. They're following an example. So I guess if your kid, for instance, somebody misbehaves in the house or in your family, it's like, well, I don't know, like, remember we're all reflections of each other. Okay, it's I would also say Paige and Sun are both out of doors. So this time frame could be just getting some sunshine, going for a walk. That could also help rejuvenate or like build some more vitality. Okay. In relation to work, I feel like you're going away from confusion about that. Um, Although the moon's right behind you, so again, I guess you're leaving confusion behind. I feel like some of you have made a choice. Maybe you realized the way you were feeling about something was more had to do with like your personal life, and now you're like putting things more in order. I guess some of you could be deciding to leave your job, but I feel like this would be more like, how do you feel about your job? That's going to be, somebody else had this too. However you feel about work or what you're working on is going to be the energy that kind of stays with you through this time frame, and for some of you through August. So that's fire to fire, right? If you want to feel better about your job too for some reason, then have more positive energy around home and other people. You know what I mean? Like it'll shift it. I do actually feel like some of you are actually going towards some really deep emotional fulfillment in relation to work too. Like you're on your way there. Just don't. But maybe this emphasizes the U-turn. It's like, maybe some of you went into your heart space, and especially during that Pisces time, if you took some time to really go into your heart, you're gonna feel more confident now. If you, I don't know, were too busy, or I don't know, it was hard for you to get in there, although I feel a lot of success through that time. Again, it's like a U-turn of energy, and I really feel like this in the positive. Again, you have a major in your strength, and you have a major in other people, which is judgment. So I guess when it comes to other people, spirit is involved. And I feel like this is a helping card right now. The way I'm sensing it is like there's help coming from other people. This is there's, because other people is kind of what is outside of you, and I feel like there's help through people. It's like God will put somebody on your path if you really need something, and you know you're walking the path again where it's a path of trust. Because what's best for me, right? Doing what's best for you, if you will, as this, is really like, well, how does this Um, well, again, I guess we got to trust that God puts us in certain places, right? And brings certain people into our lives. And, um, we have low spots and high spots. And I actually see that this is a very confident, um, it's a wider perspective of what is possible. Uh, and again, I see being happy in this moment. So I guess when it comes to other people, it wouldn't be your job to sort out what like what's wrong with, how do I see this? Like making judgments on other people, unless it's your children. Maybe they need some structure or something, or maybe they just need some exercise. They'll probably behave better. Uh, but I see, like, in relation to other people, if there's any difficulty, if there's anything that's like whatever, just give. It's kind of like give that to God. Be like, all right, please, yes, and maybe some of you have been praying for other people in your life to wake up or to grow up or to heal, or I don't know, somebody doesn't feel good or something like that. um, put your prayers there if you want. But there's a bigger picture going on with that in relation to other people, and there could be some things where like only they can sort it out with God. Does that make sense? So also I could see, to close this out, some of you could be, if you're too wrapped up emotionally with other people and you don't have a separation of yourself, where you stop and where someone else ends at work, or again whatever you're connected to, it could overlap. So just check in on, well, putting I see putting a positive, like a bubble of happy around you. Okay, maybe that'll help you if you're really sensitive to not pick up too much on other people's stuff. And again, watch your own vitality, okay? Because all kids, they got a lot of energy, but then they get grumpy when they're tired or hungry, right? Just like humans, just like adults. But we actually take kids and we're like, oh, you need a nap? Oh, he needs a nap. Oh, they're tired. I mean, it's so obvious, right? And I see you're going towards this best self, this trust in when you're supposed to do, and again, this happy version of you, you are going towards that. Some of you have already arrived, and if you're here and you're feeling this, then didn't we say something about that in the beginning? It's just like, oh, it's so good to feel happy, happy now. Because we don't always feel happy every moment. Again, even the happy child gets grumpy again when they're hungry or tired. So, messages starting repeat. I thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful month. It seems very creative to me also, this sun and page energy. Remember, your job at this time is to be happy. So I bet you can at least get an A- on that test. Maybe B+. That's cool. You gotta laugh at yourself though, too, right? Like before I saw that U-turn, God allows U-turns, I had to wait on this hill and I get a stick shift, and I'm still like, I've been practicing, but sometimes it's a little hard on the hills to hold it. You gotta hold it steady. It's these two different, basically these 2 feet are like 2 fish of Pisces, and it's like trying to get them to work together. It's hard sometimes, but I I had an opening, And of course you got to have you're engaging these 2 points again, and then you have to let go of both kind of at the same time to make it go forward. Well, I held on to one side, got a little sticky, and I totally peeled out. And I just laughed at myself because it didn't look badass, but it was funny. Anyway, yeah, find the humor in things. I hope this was helpful. Please take care of yourself. Peace out. Oh, shucks. Sorry. 1 second.